Well, hello again from the Mercedes-Benz Arena here in Atlanta. Now, before we go any further, guys, you've just got to take a look around this place. Absolutely incredible. Now, I've just been sat there in the press box with some of the other guys who regularly cover Newcastle United, like myself, and we said if St James as ever was to be knocked down and they replaced it on the site with something like this, and don't forget, you know, Darren Eales was one of the masterminds behind this. Yeah, I don't think there would be too many complaints. Absolutely wonderful. But anyway, that's the stadium. The football, I'm going to break this video into two parts again because I'm rushing downstairs to see Eddie Howe now, and I want to get his thoughts on things and bring you them as well as my own. But one quick thought, and I'm going to revisit this. Louis Miley, wow, I thought he was brilliant out there tonight. Never mind the fact he's only 17. I'm not saying this because I'm making allowance for his age. I just thought him, along with Anthony Gordon, was Newcastle's best player. We'll talk more about that in just a moment. I've got a dash. But yeah, Louis Miley, let's come back to him. Well, hello again. There you go, two for the price of one. So yeah, I've been down to speak to Eddie in the press conference room, and I said we'd pick up where we left off with Louis Miley. I've got a break and bit of Louis Miley transfer news. Yeah, he's not going anywhere. Now, we knew that, of course, but nonetheless, I've just asked the question of Eddie, would there be a chance of Louis Miley going out on loan? I think we already knew the answer, but you know, Eddie confirmed that. He wants to keep him around the first team squad this season. That isn't really something that's been informed by what he's seen over Miley's brilliant performances out here in America. I think he knew that already. You know, Miley spent a large part of the second half of the season, last season, getting that exposure, and Eddie wants the same again. But what I think has perhaps changed in his thinking is that rather than just keep him around the first team squad as a trainer, I think he'll get minutes this season, and I don't see why not. Now, there tonight, he was up against a Premier League midfield in Chelsea. This isn't the game out here against, you know, Atlanta United or Columbus Crew from 10, 15, 20 years ago, all those sorts of games. This, honestly, I've been covering the whole series. This is really competitive. The games might start off in the first 30 seconds as fairly slow, sedate affairs. It only takes one tackle or one perceived injustice from the referee, and you know, those little rivalries and those historic niggles, they come racing back to the service. It's been a really, really worthwhile exercise for all the teams involved out here, I must say that, and Eddie's just said the same downstairs. The point I make with regards Miley is he is shining in what is in effect Premier League surrounds. Okay, that we've got the caveat, it is only pre-season and it will be different when the real action starts, but this is as good as pre-season gets for me. And he there tonight was up against Enzo Fernandez, you know, the world's most expensive midfielder at £105 million. He had alongside him Sandro Tonali, an Italy international, £52 million. Louis Miley, and I'm not just saying this, Louis Miley looked better than all of them. Now, why do I say that? In possession, he's confident, he's composed, and he's brave. The one thing I like about him is he's not playing the percentages for himself. The passes he's making, there's an element of risk to them. He's threading the ball through the lines. In the first half, I was watching him, he gave away one pass, and that was a pass, fair to him, it was a little ball around the corner, that Michael Carrick type ball, you know, the guy who assists the assists, and that's what I see in him. But not just that, he's rangy, he managed to get his foot in, he seems to have legs on him. I think did he finish the game? I think he did finish the game there. He was certainly on in the very final few minutes. So he's got that he's got that stamina as well about him, and yeah, everything there tonight just screamed class. And I've watched him play many times in the youth ranks. You know, I enjoy going down to Benton to watch the 18s every now and again, or you know, picking up a lot of 23 games as well. So he looks better again. I thought he was a good player, but I think he looks better again for stepping them into senior surrounds. And quite often you can get that with some boys. They just enjoy it more. And on that subject, a quick little nod as well to Alex Murphy, who was through and then after Fabian Shaw went off injured. Quick insert, Fabian Shaw's injury, hamstring, said to be tight, not a pull, should be okay. But I thought Alex Murphy came on, nearly got his goal with a header, which would have been wonderful. And ever since I saw him for the first time playing at Whitley Park for the 23s, I think I've mentioned it on these videos before, another one who I really like, and he did well tonight at left back. Now, I'm going to come back to a player I also mentioned, Sandro Tonali there, and we all eulogised about Tonali after Rangers. And we knew why, because you could see the class. You know, you could see that first pass he's got in his head. He's already thinking before the ball comes to him, what are you going to do with it? And it contributed massively to the goal from Miguel Almiron up at Ibrox. Now, in the last two out here, I'll be honest, and no one here is drawing conclusions. We're just giving an opinion and observation. I probably think that those on the inside would agree with this, but it's going to take Tonali time, and I think there's got to be that level of acceptance, because up against Premier League midfield, he hasn't been able to impact the way he did up at Rangers. Now, that's understandable. He's coming from a league, Serie A, and it's not just adjusting to the new intensity of the Premier League, it's actually perhaps more so adjusting to the intensity of your own team. And we spoke to Anthony Gordon earlier in the week, and he made this point. It's taken him a good 6 months to swallow Eddie Howe's playbook. There is so much information to take in, factor in the language barrier. I walked up to Tonali yesterday at the street soccer event and introduced myself in my pidgin Italian. Didn't get a great deal back. He said he understood me, but yeah, you know, he seems quite a reserved character. Now, I think that would be acceptable anyway, new country, new teammates, but I think that's genuine his nature anyway. So yeah, it might take a little bit of time for him, certainly on the evidence of what I've seen out here, you know, against Villa on Saturday. I think both him and Bruno struggled in many ways up against the physicality of Villa's midfield. So yeah, but I did think Tonali then improved in the second half, and you know, the class is evident. But one thing is guaranteed: the longer you're exposed as a player to Eddie Howe, you go to a level at which you haven't previously operated at. We've only got to look at so many examples now, you know, Joe Linton, Miguel Almiron, you know, Sean Longstaff and others. So yeah, I suppose the point I'm making with Tonali is, having been very enthused by what we saw up at Rangers, I wouldn't even be 100% certain that he starts in the team on the opening weekend, but we'll wait and see in that regard. On the subject of starters, I think tonight was a big indication as to what Eddie is thinking. I think that back four, Trippier, Burn, Botman, Shaw is the back four he's going to play with, and the front three as well I thought was quite informative. The fact that he put Gordon on the left, Miguel Almiron on the right, and it was Alexander Isak through the middle. I think that will probably be the three who starts the season. And Gordon again tonight. Now, I've said that Miley was excellent. Gordon just looks super sharp, and you know, his role in the goal for Almiron, the way he's burnt by his man in the middle of the park. And I'm saying the same things yet because the same players are impressing me and they deserve that mention. And you know, it's proof that it's not just a one-off. It's confirming the fact that what we're seeing, it is real. Anthony Gordon is flying. He genuinely is. You know, I spoke about him in that video from the rooftop bar there the other day, didn't I? And again tonight, he's reinforced that for me. Anthony Gordon starts against Aston Villa 100%. In fact, I think he's almost the first name on the team sheet. I really do believe that. Isak looked better in the second. Funny enough, when Isak went out wide and him and Gordon swapped, Gordon went through the middle. I thought Isak looked a little bit better from the left. So again, that's an option for Eddie. As for Almiron, well, he got a number of yeah, he got the cheer when he scored the goal. Again, wonderfully taken. We talk about there the instruction. Miguel Almiron, for me, when he almost simplified his game last year, and Eddie had told him, you operate in the inside right channel, you get the ball, you take a touch, you finish, you don't think about it. We've seen Miguel Almiron at his worst when he overthinks things and he runs around in muddles and just gets himself into holes and pockets he shouldn't. Well, twice now, up at Rangers last week and then again tonight, we've seen him score very similar goals. One touch, out of his feet, in on goal, left foot stroke, bottom corner. And don't forget, his brilliant form in the first half of last season was built on a summer in which he scored goals. So he is looking as another one who had a positive summer. And yeah, he got the cheer for his goal. Eddie then, with a fair helping of sentiment, took him off 15 minutes to go. Again, another big cheer from sellout crowd here, again, brilliant. And then on full time, the local PA, perhaps to no one's surprise, even though I thought there were more worthy contenders, gave him man of the match, so another big roar went up as well. But speaking of man of the match, well, yeah, best outfield performers again, Miley and Gordon, but Nick Pope, when he came on, you forget, don't you? Now, if it wasn't for Pope, Newcastle might have been beaten 3 or 4-1 there by Chelsea. Tremendous saves, and just a reminder of how big a difference he really does make. Little causes for concern. I have to say, in the first half, the nature of Chelsea's goal, they cut through the middle of the park, which comes back to one or two of those concerns about Tonali getting a bit of speed. Like I said, I thought that was quite easy the way they did it. And then Nicholas Jackson, brilliant player by the way, he is tremendous. Didier Drogba Mark II, watch out for him this season. He peels off the shoulder of Sven Botman, and he's away. And I just said to one of my colleagues I was sat next to in the press box, the more the levels go up for Newcastle, do we think that perhaps might need some more pace at the back? They haven't really got anyone with that lightning quick recovery run. And as good as the defence was last year, joint best in the league with Manchester City, that was built on the first half of the season when they got a little bit more tired or fatigued towards the end of the season. They went on that that bad run where they just couldn't buy a clean sheet. And this year, the competition is going to be better. It's going to be harder. The levels are stepping up, and while we don't know what they've got left of the budget, I just think at right-sided centre-half or even left-back, they could just do with some elite level pace in there. So that's something for them to perhaps consider. But yeah, on the whole, another thoroughly enjoyable night here. I'm loving this Premier League summer series. We saw Brighton play earlier, and they looked to have unearthed another smashing talent. The boy who scored 2 goals, whose name I can't remember. I'll put it on screen. Yeah, because I didn't know who he was 3 hours ago, but he looks another tremendous one. So yeah, from here, guys, I'm flying on to New York in the morning. A really fun event with Joe Linton, Bruno tomorrow night, hopefully in New York, which will bring you something from. And then yeah, onto the game. On who we playing now? Yeah, who they playing now? Yeah, Chelsea. No, Brighton. Yeah. Oh goodness. Yeah, this is confusing. Okay, I think that's time for me to go back to the hotel and get a beer. So thanks again for watching, guys. Numbers have been great, really enjoying it. Keep on reading again. Daily Mail, Mail Online. Hit subscribe, hit like. I'll put some links to the pieces I've written from tonight in the description below. See you soon. Bye bye.